Imagine planning a relaxing beach trip for the weekend, packing your sunscreen, flip-flops, and maybe even a surfboard, only to find out that nature itself might throw a curveball. That's exactly what's happening right now along parts of the New Jersey coast. The National Weather Service has issued a coastal flood watch that covers both Cape May County and Atlantic County, stretching from Thursday afternoon through late Friday night. For anyone familiar with coastal living, this kind of watch is no small matter. It signals that water levels are expected to rise above normal tides, and residents and visitors alike are being urged to take precautions. If you've ever underestimated the power of the ocean, now's the time to really pay attention, because this could impact daily routines, local businesses, and most importantly, public safety in these shore communities. So what exactly is a coastal flood watch? For many people inland, it might sound like just another weather alert, but on the coast, it can be a serious signal. The watch issued for Cape May and Atlantic counties means that flooding conditions are favorable, and water could reach levels 1 to 2 feet above ground in some low-lying areas. That might not sound like much, but picture streets turning into rivers, parking lots becoming small ponds, and certain neighborhoods getting cut off. Even a foot of water is enough to close roadways, damage property, and make travel dangerous. Coastal flood watches give communities time to prepare before conditions escalate into a full-fledged warning. This preparation time is crucial, especially in towns that rely heavily on summer tourism and local infrastructure that's often right on the waterline. In Cape May County, officials are paying special attention to low-lying areas near tidal waterways and shorelines. According to the National Weather Service, these spots could experience significant inundation, up to 2 feet above the normal ground level. That means roads that usually carry vacation traffic might be blocked, and businesses close to the beach could see water creeping up to their doors. Even homes and critical infrastructure in these areas might face threats if the water rises higher than expected. Shoreline erosion is another major concern because once sand is lost, it takes time and resources to replenish it. Erosion not only impacts the beaches that visitors enjoy, but also the natural barrier against future flooding events. The bottom line: Cape May County residents need to stay alert and begin planning ahead for possible impacts over the coming days. Meanwhile, Atlantic County is facing a similar situation, with the watch stretching across communities from bayside areas to inland tidal waterways. The National Weather Service says this level of flooding could make many roads impassable, cutting off access to neighborhoods and forcing detours. Vulnerable structures, especially older buildings close to the water, may begin to see damage as the flooding spreads. For anyone commuting through the area or running local businesses, that kind of disruption can be more than inconvenient. It can stop daily life in its tracks. Emergency officials are encouraging residents not to wait until the water is already on the streets. Instead, now is the time to take precautionary measures like moving vehicles to higher ground, securing outdoor items, and being ready to follow any local evacuation or safety guidance. The National Weather Service isn't just concerned about flooding on land. It's also warning about hazardous conditions in the ocean itself. Dangerous swimming and surfing conditions are expected, along with rip currents strong enough to drag even the most experienced swimmers out into deeper water. Beach erosion is another risk, which can change the shape of the coastline and make beaches less safe in the short term. Lifeguards and emergency management teams are reminding beachgoers to obey posted beach flags and avoid entering the water if conditions look unsafe. Rip currents are notoriously deceptive. They may look like calm patches of water, but can sweep swimmers away in seconds. The advice is clear. Inexperienced swimmers should stay out of the water entirely. And even strong swimmers should remain cautious and near lifeguard stations if they decide to go in. For those unfamiliar, here's why rip currents are so dangerous. When waves break strongly in some locations and weakly in others, water can rush out to sea in a narrow but powerful stream. Swimmers caught in this current may panic and try to fight against it, exhausting themselves quickly. The National Weather Service reminds people, if caught in a rip current, don't try to swim directly back to shore against the pull. Instead, float, stay calm, and swim parallel to the beach until you escape the current. Once free, you can head back toward shore. If you can't break free, wave or call for help while conserving your energy. These reminders may seem repetitive, but every summer, lives are lost when people underestimate the power of rip currents. During a flood watch, conditions for these currents often get even worse. The timing of this watch is also important. It begins Thursday at 2 p.m. and continues until Friday at 11 p.m., which means 2 full high tide cycles are included in the window. That's critical, because the overlap of astronomical high tides and onshore winds can create the perfect storm for coastal flooding. It's not just a one-time event. Repeated cycles of water pushing in and out can worsen erosion, flood multiple tide-dependent roadways, and leave communities with ongoing issues even after the official watch expires. For local residents, this means planning their schedules carefully, avoiding travel during peak high tides, and making sure any errands or preparations are done in advance. For visitors planning beach days, it may be wise to reschedule or adjust plans to avoid dangerous conditions altogether. Local officials in both counties are urging people to pay close attention to updates and not assume this is just another routine alert. In recent years, even relatively minor coastal flooding has caused significant disruptions in New Jersey shore communities. When water covers roads, emergency vehicles may have difficulty reaching people in need. Businesses near marinas or beachfronts often lose revenue when flooding forces them to close, and families living near tidal creeks or low-lying streets may face cleanup challenges long after the water recedes. Being proactive, whether by sandbagging vulnerable spots, moving cars, or keeping emergency kits ready, can make a big difference. The message is clear. Use this watch period wisely to prepare rather than waiting for a more urgent warning. It's also worth noting that these types of coastal flood watches often highlight the growing challenges of living in vulnerable shoreline areas. While Thursday and Friday's event may pass without catastrophic